Kefir 1 in the pickle jar. This one is Kefir 2 in a half-gallon jar. This one is reverse osmosis water and regular refined sugar, and it is happy once again. It started breaking down and was not happy, so this one I added some real salt, about 1/8 of a teaspoon, just a pinch, and this one I added some molasses. Molasses. And real salt. Just a pinch. About 1/4 of a teaspoon as well. They're happy, so I'm going to leave them till tomorrow. Change out the water. Everything's fermenting and bubbling. It's very happy. I have an overhead light here that I use, and I leave it right here in front of the coffee maker, which, let me move everything and I'll show you how I usually have it. This is where the pickle jar always sits. I moved it so it's starting to bubble a little. And this is where I keep the other jar. You see the proximity on top of the fridge where I have the light that shines on it. It keeps it a little bit warm. I know people say not to have a light on it, but my kefir is basically very happy and thrives here. I don't have the light on all the time. And I also cover the kefir. This is just a piece of flannel, just one layer, and some elastic tape that's kind of doubled. I think I can get my hand wide enough. Hold on. Then I have another piece of flannel, so for right now it's just this little cloth thingy. Just keeps it covered so the bugs are out and the air can kind of process through. And that is the 2 jars of kefir. When I started this jar, it just had barely enough of a layer down here, and as you can see, it's pretty much quadrupled. Pretty much even since yesterday when I changed out the water, put sugar, it actually has doubled. So all of this is just since yesterday. This was there yesterday, and it grew this much kefir just today because it's super happy now. Yesterday it was all very gritty, and as you can see, it's turned back into the globules that are making bubbles that float up because they're happy. Then they split into pieces, which is kind of like they make babies that way, little baby kefirs. And then this one, when I started, this one also had just a layer on the bottom, and so this one has also pretty much tripled. This one is a wider jar, so it doesn't look like as much as the smaller jar, but it's also gotten to be pretty full. And tomorrow I will actually separate out and divide the kefir grains into more jars because my grandsons had told me that they want to start making their own kefir. They are having fun flavoring their kefir. The reason that the kefirs are different colors, this one now has a little touch of the blackstrap molasses. Just a tad. It has a lot of good stuff in there for the kefir. It makes them happy. It doesn't look like there's much in here. It says there's calcium and iron, and the calcium is necessary for them. Has a bit of sugar and a bit of sodium. I'm talking. This one has salt, and it's the good salt. It's not just the iodized salt, the table salt. This has a lot of goodies.
Goodies?
It has...
No, I'm talking to me right now.
Hold on. It has calcium, potassium, sulfur, magnesium, iron, phosphorus, iodine, manganese, copper, and zinc. And so the trace mineral in there is really super good. And you can see the salt is lots of different colors. It's got pink and little bits of brown and black and white and tan, so it's all those mix of all those minerals that makes the salt really healthy for you, especially the iodine. That is some super happy kefir there. Just keeps making more. It goes up and then it comes down because it's making more kefir grains. They're actually growing, which means they get bigger. They get a certain size, they have to float up and break into another piece. And sometimes the piece is really small, you don't see it, and then they float back down. Here's some on their way up. You see it bubbling in the back. It's fermenting. It has a 1 to 3% alcohol content. And the rest of it is carbonated. So you actually can make a carbonated drink and make it fruity. I have actually tried this time to make a vegetable one. Cucumber, carrot, celery, and this one. And then the fruit ones on this one, I have blueberry, strawberry, and it has a piece of banana right here. This big thing here is a banana, and then this is blueberry, and the bits of strawberry. They change color and texture because they're being devoured by the bacteria and the yeast, and the banana really helps to make it more carbonated because it has a lot of yeast in it. This one has a slice of apple. It has it has more than one slice of apple, but it has apple slices. Raspberry. It actually even has slices of ginger. Some blackberry. Regular raspberry. I don't think this one has golden raspberry. And it also, if you look right there, you can see a slice of banana. I love banana in mine. It gives it a wonderful flavor. And it makes it more carbonated. Those are those flavors. This one is the same vegetable one. This vegetable one, I ground it up. And you can see very slightly a little bit of movement down there in the middle. Like right here, you can see some of the stuff moving around, falling down. Most of it is kind of settling right up here. But right up in here, you can see it kind of settling and going up and down. You don't see as much action as you see in this one. Which right now you don't see it doing much of anything. This is one that I used a coconut flavored tea, and that's all I put was a coconut flavored tea bag and some sugar. And just to see how that one is. And you don't really see a lot of carbonation or movement in this one. You can see some of the sugar settled on the bottom. I put organic coconut sugar in this one because it's going to be a coconut tea, so coconut sugar will be super good in there. This one has the apple, strawberry, blueberry, golden raspberry, Actually it's not strawberry. This one is when I put cherry. I split the cherries so they're kind of popped. No strawberry. Apple, cherry, blueberry, and golden raspberry. This one is apple, red raspberry, blackberry, a bit of banana, which you can see up there at the top. And so that's what this flavor is. My favorite is to take an actual pineapple. Be right back. My favorite is to take a real pineapple like this. And when you can pull the stems out, which this one you can't, you can see I'm lifting it off and the stems are not coming out, this little leaf. But when the leaves come out, that means the pineapple is ready to eat. What I do is I cut the head off, the top of it, and then I cut the slices of the pineapple skin. I wash this first really good, and then to get to the meat of the pineapple, I have to cut the skin off. So I cut the top, and I cut the bottom, like this, and then it makes about 6 slices to get the skin off the pineapple. And then what I do is I use the pineapple. This part that you see, even though it's got this kind of stuff, it doesn't actually get in your drink because you can strain it. But this part and the inside core, which could be like this big around, that part has more pineapple flavor than the actual pineapple meat in a pineapple. And so I love to flavor pineapple and a whole banana. So I'll use about half of the skins, and I cut the core into chunks, and so I will use about half of that in the really big pickle jar with some sugar on the second ferment, and that makes the most fruity, tropical tasting Kefir water. One of my favorites. I also like to do just plain cherries because that's really super good if you put a lot of cherries. When my daughter does her Kefir, she uses small amounts of fruit. As you can see, I go crazy putting the fruit in there because I really like the flavor. And she likes to just take the fruit out and toss it. And sometimes I take the fruit out and toss it if it's gotten too yucky. And I'll put it in a pot that I use, that I can feed my goats. But sometimes I will just grind it up, and even if it's got this stuff in it, then we drink it and it's kind of like a smoothie. So you get all the fiber and all the nutrition. So those are the Kefir greens that I've been caring for, and I'll let you know how they're doing. And you can ask me any questions if you'd like to. I'm new at this, about 2 weeks, but I'm just having so much fun with it. Love watching my Kefir greens. God bless.